Hello, everybody. This is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Part 2, Chapter 35. The prince's gaiety and good humor were contagious, and none of his household and acquaintances, not even their German landlord, escaped it. When he came in with Kitty from his walk, the prince invited the colonel, Marya Evgenyevna, and her daughter, and Varenka, to lunch, and had the table spread under the horse chestnuts in the garden. The landlord and his domestics were filled with zeal under the influence of his good spirits. They also knew his generosity, and within half an hour the jollity of these hearty Russians, sitting under the horse chestnuts, was filled with envy the heart of a sick Hamburg doctor, who occupied the first floor, and sighed as he looked upon the happy ground under the shady trees. The princess, in a bonnet trimmed with lilac ribbons, presided over the table, which was spread with an exceedingly white cloth, whereon were placed the coffee service, the bread, butter, cheese, and cold game. She was distributing cups and tarts, while the prince, at the other end of the table, was eating with good appetite, and talking with great animation. He had spread out in front of him all his purchases, wood carvings, paper cutters, ivory toys of every kind, which he had brought back from all the places where he had been, and he was amusing himself by giving them around to all his guests, not even forgetting Lieschen, the maid, or the master of the house. He made long and comical speeches to the latter, in his bad German, and assured him that it was not the waters that had cured Kitty, but his excellent cuisine, and particularly his prune soup. The princess rallied her husband on his Russian peculiarities, but never, since she had been at the spa, had she been so gay and lively. The colonel, as always, was amused at the prince's sallies of wit, but he agreed with the princess on the European question, which he imagined that he understood thoroughly. The good Marya Evgenyevna laughed till the tears ran down her cheeks, and even Varenka, to Kitty's great astonishment, was awakened from her ordinary quiet melancholy by the prince's jests. All this delighted Kitty, but she could not free herself from mental agitation. She could not resolve the problem which her father had unintentionally given her when he spoke in his jesting, humorous way of her friends and the life which offered her so many attractions. Moreover, she could not help puzzling herself with the reasons for the change in her relations with the Petrovs, which had struck her this very day more plainly and disagreeably than ever. Her agitation increased as she saw the gaiety of the others. Her feelings increased as Her feelings were the same as when she was a very little girl, and, having been punished for some offense, she heard from her room her sisters enjoying themselves, and could not take part. "No, why'd you purchase this heap of things?" asked the princess, offering her husband a cup of coffee. "You go out for a walk, no, and you come to a shop, and they address you and say, 'Erlacht, Excellenz, Durlacht,' no. When they get to Durlacht, I cannot resist any longer, and my $10 vanish." It was merely because of irksomeness. Certainly it was, such irksomeness that one does not know how to escape from it. "But how can you be bored? There are so many interesting things to see in Germany now," said Marya Evgenyevna. "Da, I know that it is interesting just as the present time. I know soup with prunes, I know pea pudding, I know everything." "It is idle to resist, princess. Their institutions are interesting." "Da, but how are they interesting? They are as contented as new shillings. They have whipped the world. No, why should I find anything to content me here? I never conquered anybody, but I have to take off my boots myself, and what is worse, put them out myself in the corridor. In the morning I get up and I have to dress myself, and go down to the dining room and drink execrable tea. 'Tisn't like that at home. There you can get up when you please. If you're out of sorts, you can be out of sorts. You have all the time you want, and you can do whatever you please without hurrying." "But time is money, don't forget that," said the colonel. "It depends. There are whole months that you would sell for 50 kopecks, and quarter hours that you would not take any amount of money for. Isn't that so, Katenka? But why are you so solemn?" "Oh, I'm not, Papa." "Where are you going? Stay a little longer," said the prince to Varenka. But I must go home, said Varenka, rising and laughing gaily again. When she was calmed, she took leave of her friends and went to get her hat. Kitty followed her. Even Varenka seemed to her friend changed. She was not less good, but she was different from what she had imagined her to be. "Ah, it's such a long time since I've laughed so much," said Varenka as she was getting her parasol and her satchel. "How charming your papa is." Kitty did not answer. "When shall I see you again?" asked Varenka. "Mamma wanted to go to the Petrovs. Will you be there?" asked Kitty, trying to read Varenka. "I will be there," she replied. "They expect to go, and I am going to help them pack." "No, then I will go with you." "No, why should you?" Why?" asked Kitty, holding Varenka by her sunshade and opening her eyes very wide. "Wait a moment and tell me why." "Why? Because your papa has come, and because they are vexed at you." "No. Tell me honestly why you don't like to have me go to the Petrovs. You don't like it. Why is it?" "I didn't say so," replied Varenka calmly. "I beg you to tell me. Must I tell you all?" All, replied Kitty. At the bottom there's nothing very serious. Only Mikhail Alexeyevich, that was Petrov's name, was willing to leave at any time. Now he does not want to go," replied Varenka, smiling. No, cried Kitty, looking at Varenka with a gloomy expression. "No, Anna Pavlovna imagines that he does not want to go because you are here. Of course, this was unfortunate, but you've been the cause of a family quarrel, and you know how irritable those invalids are." Kitty grew still more melancholy and kept silent. Varenka went on speaking, trying to pacify her and put things in a better light, though she foresaw that the results would be either tears or reproaches. She knew not which. "So it's better not to go there, you see, and you will not be angry. But I deserved it, said Kitty, speaking rapidly and still holding Varenka's parasol and not looking at her. Varenka was amused at her friend's childish anger, but she was afraid of offending her. "How deserve it? I don't understand. I deserve it because this was all a pretense, it was all hypocrisy, and because it did not come from the heart. What business had I to meddle with the affairs of a stranger? And so I have been the cause of a quarrel, and simply because it was all hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, said she, mechanically opening and shutting the sunshade. "Why do you call it hypocrisy?" asked Varenka gently. "Ah, how stupid, how wretched! It was none of my business. Hypocrisy. But why hypocrisy?" "Because I did it to seem better to others, to myself, to God. To deceive everybody. No, I will not fall so low again. I would rather be wicked and not lie, and not deceive." But who is a liar?" asked Varenka in a reproachful tone. "You speak as if—" But Kitty was thoroughly angry, and did not let her finish. "I was not speaking of you, not of you at all. You are perfection. Yes, I know that you are all perfection. What can be done? I'm wicked. This would not have occurred if I had not been wicked. So much the worse. I will be what I am, and I will not be deceitful. What have I to do with Anna Pavlovna? Let them live as they want to, and I will do the same. I can't be anybody else. Besides, it is not that all—" What isn't that?" asked Varenka in astonishment. "Everything. I can only live by my heart, but you live by your principles. I like you all, but you have had in view only to save me, to convert me. You're not fair," said Varenka. "I'm not speaking about the rest of you. I only speak for myself." "Kitty," cried her mother's voice, "come here and show Papa your corals." Kitty took the box with the corals from the table, carried it to her mother with a dignified air, but she did not become reconciled with her friend. "What's the matter? Why are you so red?" asked her father and mother with one voice. "Nothing, I'm coming right back," and she hurried to the house. She's still there, she thought. What shall I tell her? Bozhe moi, what have I done? What have I said? Why did I hurt her feelings? What have I done? What did I say to her? She asked herself as she hurried to the door. Varenka, with her hat on, was sitting by the table, examining the remains of her parasol, which Kitty had broken. She raised her head. "Varenka, forgive me," whispered Kitty, coming up to her. "I did not know what I was saying. Truly, I did not mean to cause you pain," said Varenka, smiling. Peace was made, But her father's coming had changed for Kitty the world in which she lived. Without giving up what she had learned, she confessed that she had been under an illusion by believing that she was what she had dreamed of being. It was like a dream. She found that she could not, without hypocrisy, stay on such an elevation. She felt, moreover, still more vividly the weight of the misfortune, the ills, the agonies of those who surrounded her, and she felt that it was cruel to prolong the efforts which she had made to interest herself in them. She began to long to breathe the purer, healthier atmosphere of Russia at Yergashova, where Dolly and the children had preceded her, as she learned from a letter that had just come. But her love for Varenka had not diminished. When she went away, she begged her to come and visit them in Russia. "I will come when you are married," she said. "I shall never marry." "No, then I shall never come." "No, in that case I shall get married only for your sake." "Don't forget your promise," said Kitty. The doctor's prophecies were realized. Kitty came home to Russia perfectly well. Possibly she was not as gay and careless as before, but her calmness was restored. The pains of the past were only a memory.